And that's when Karen said, "Good night, Wesley. I'll most likely shoot you in the morning." And she did.
Bullshit. Okay. He tells me before I start, hey, can I start? I have a good opening line, because that was taking away my opening line, which was bullshit. That's how fucking Wesley dies? Fucking Wesley? I mean, okay. Serial killer 101.
Okay.
You handcuff the woman to the chair. You don't leave a loaded gun on there.
Well, he's not a serial killer, really.
For a bullshit symbol that doesn't even really make sense. No, this is supposed to scare you. He puts on the table. Why would he put it on the table? This is like the secretary to like the biggest crime boss in like this universe, and he goes out like fucking that? Like fuck, I mean, I'm not saying like they're making it up, that kind of bullshit. I'm just saying bullshit. That is fucking Wesley. That's a cool character, and he's awesome, and he does not deserve to go out that way. You just know that actor when doing this. He's like reading this. He's like, wait, fucking what? Oh, are you disturbed that you died? No, I'm disturbed. I go out like a bitch, like an idiot moron bitch. This is awful.
Multiple things. First, my good friend Wesley is not a serial killer. I do a lot of the killing.
Clearly, but he sets
His
it
minions
up.
do the killing.
He sets it up. He's supposed to be on top of her. He's the logical guy. It makes no sense.
I think we've firmly established he's not a good killer. He's never done it before.
But he's good at setting shit up, and then why would he think he could do it?
Well, he wasn't planning on being interrupted, okay?
So stupid. At any point, even if she was on the far right, she could just reach across, grab the gun like she did.
I do have to admit, when I first saw it, when he says, "You didn't think I'd be stupid enough to put a loaded gun in front of me," when she shoots him, I was like, oh, turns out I was stupid enough.
Yeah, like, fucking what? The rest of the episode's fine. It's a good episode. But that fucking pissed me off.
I think it shows how really fucking confident he was in himself. And how really he completely underestimated her. I think he just thought, oh, this is fine. I'm just going to be scaring some little girl here. Like, this is not a problem. She was drugged. She's, like, whatever.
No,
I think he just literally just was drunk on his own. See? Now, right there, like, the phone rang and I could have grabbed the gun from you.
Yep, I don't have a gun. I wouldn't have my phone on. If I had a gun, I have it on for a vlog, that's still pretty stupid, but I would have it off.
You made the same fucking mistake he just did.
I'm not trying to kill somebody or persuade them. I don't have a loaded gun. I would have a loaded gun, because that's stupid.
So we firmly established that serial killing is not Wesley's forte.
Oh, the fucking Lee. Couldn't even make a word out of that, I'm so angry.
Wasn't it at least ironic that he was brought down by the phone? The very thing that brought him closer together.
I don't know, he's brought down by his own fucking stupidity. I love that character, you know, and we set up with the Kingpin that, you know, we were saying, like, you know, God, he seems so emotional and he seems, you know, at certain elements, but he's clearly on top of things for the most part. Even when he starts to stray, you know, there's sort of this sense of getting it back, well, except maybe now, I mean, we don't know, maybe too much, but it's like he always seems to be on top of it. He has all these backup plans. I mean, backup plans on top of backup plans, partly because of Wesley. Like, he's the motherfucker that set all that stuff up, and for him to go out like this, and nobody else there, why just fucking him? Why do it himself?
It's so a moral lesson. Don't step outside of your comfort zone.
But why would he
Clearly
be so
not
stupid?
His comfort zone.
Because
he's obviously never done that before.
I mean, I'm waiting for,
At least not with a loaded weapon. Well, then again, he did make threats to that, what was it, cop earlier in the series. But then again, he had, like, minions, and this was, like, a private meeting one-on-one.
I'm waiting for, like, the twist in this scene. Because, first of all, offering him a job... What the fuck is wrong with it? Everything Wesley did in the moment of his death, leading up to and going out, was completely wrong. I mean, it was just like, it was so not that character. And everything else, even when they do
Actually,
something
no,
kind of
I think
corny,
offering the job was probably the best thing he
No,
did.
you want to shot her.
What?
Kill her.
Oh, no, kill her eventually, but convince
No,
Urich
kill her
first.
now. What?
Why?
What
Eventually,
more
because
powerful message?
eventually he'll have to kill Urich then. And he's the one who has the problem with the fact that they're leaving a trail of bodies everywhere.
But, yeah, now it's his body. Fucking idiot.
Well, Yes, but that's the whole theme. It's martyrs sacrificing themselves for.
Okay,
You know what? You got to give it this. Bet you didn't see that one coming.
No, I mean my eyes were wide open. And it was just like and
He did make like a very Tim Allen kind of.
I mean, I'm waiting for like blood pellets, blanks, something.
No.
But I'm like, and second, I like Wesley. I mean, that was a fun
We all
character.
like Wesley.
No, I mean it's one of those things.
Wesley's
that's
the
like,
man.
It was not his time. Was not his time. It was not his time.
Well, if there's anything we can thank DC for, it's the fact that nobody ever really dies in comics, so who the hell knows?
Bullshit how he died. Even if he came back, if he came back to life, hey, it was bullshit how you died. That was fucking stupid.
But maybe it's all part of a master plan.
No. You know, if we brought him back to life, I would shoot him just to be like, yeah, that's for fucking dying like a moron. Now you're dying even more like a moron because I killed you.
Alright, I'm having trouble rationalizing it, okay?
But that makes no sense.
It's still a Wesley scene, and Wesley scenes are by default really good.
Except for this one. This is the one botched Wesley scene, and it's his death. Oh, okay. Well,
Are you finished?
Yeah, let's talk about the rest of the episode. The rest of the episode's really good. Less foggy.
Less Fogo-vision?
I'm just gonna crap on all characters. No, actually, it was a good episode. More and more playing the, as you're saying, sort of the yin and yang of the two. I mean, they're both Murdoch and Fisk are kind of in mourning. They have both been given warnings about veering from the path and what they will become if they go down, elements of fate. And their character and environment and stuff.
Martyrs, sacrifice.
Yeah, I mean, so...
Dogs and cats living together, man.
Necessary! So that stuff was all wonderful. I'm trying to think what else. I'm just so wrapped up in Wesley. I will say this, because now I'm not sure if it's what's her name? Mao? Is that her name?
Gao.
I'm not sure if it's her who did, because they're asking too much if it was her, and usually in shows that's sort of what they do to make.
Well, there's a long list,
and then it's always somebody else.
There is a list of suspects because it could also be the Japanese, but.
No, I don't think it's that. I mean, my first thought was either Wesley or the Patch Adams guy, and now I'm thinking it's the Patch Adams guy. That's my guess. I mean, my original thought probably
Leland,
was...
by the way.
Leland.
My name is Leland.
No, he's Patch Adams guy. We're gonna make doctors out of you. But
gotta make supervillains out of you.
Yeah, no. Originally, I was thinking maybe.
I just gotta interject and say I love his early scenes too. I was holding the glass. Don't you think I should be exact?
Yeah.
Does not.
What if it isn't her? I mean, which is.
What am I, invisible?
I mean, I think that if I had to guess, I'd say they're playing very much that it's not him, which is why I'm kind of thinking it is.
Actually, my favorite line is, "And what if it was her? Then it's been a pleasure doing business with you." Great line.
Yeah, don't get shot by a blonde by a gun you put down. He only lightly drugged her and she can clear it. Okay, I said I would stop. Sorry.
Everyone makes mistakes.
Mom! Okay.
Wesley, why?
So no, that was all good. I think with, I'm blanking on her name now, the blonde. We haven't watched this in a while. Karen. I was sort of debating whether or not it made sense to have her, because obviously Murdoch and Foggy, they're on opposite sides now, and nobody's kind of listening to her, and she was just like, if you can just pull it together and just, we're supposed to be a team, and I wasn't sure if that was founded or not, because on the one hand...
Well, she's got no one else to her whole...
Yeah, I mean,
Yurik is bowing out, is still pissed at what
so she has
did.
No one.
Rightfully so.
No, I'm not saying don't be angry. I'm saying, the way she was kind of she was kind of shaking and the tears were going and stuff, and I was thinking,
Is Laura Derning it too much for you?
A touch. So we'll get to that when we do our real thoughts. But, no, I don't know. It could have been, because I'm thinking about where she started off from, too, and it's not like this is someone that was totally used to being in, the fisticuffs and let's go get them and stuff, but at the same time, I feel like... she has warned off some attackers and stuff like that, and she is like, hey, let's get these bastards. I don't want to give up. So, to me, I would imagine she'd be more, angry than, like, you know,
But
sad.
no, because she's having all of her lifelines pulled away from her, basically, because she could depend on Murdoch wanting to stop Fisk. She could depend on Foggy as a friend. She could depend on Urich. All three now, poof.
Are gone, yeah.
Yeah, are pretty much
just
just going up in smoke. So honestly, I think her reaction makes a lot of sense. I think she's looking at this like, well, great, now what do I have? Like, I thought we were going to bring this guy down, and now it's just me versus the world.
No, I was definitely saying is, you know, I can see being angry. I just wasn't sure about, you know, being sad about it. You know, that I wasn't sure. Because I felt like she's come a long way since, like, episode 1. I mean, now she really is, like, moving forward and taking, you know, fucking killing Wesley.
Well, again, the whole balance thing. It's like, one side loses something, then the other has to lose something. It's like all this talk about martyrs and sacrifice, and now we lose Wesley, she's lost her lifelines. Like, this is a common theme. Like, it's this constant battle between good and evil, and they just keep taking each other out.
I'm surprised how much I like that bitch Foggy slept with. Like, at first I'm just
You
like,
two
oh,
have been best friends forever, and I don't care.
Yeah, there's like, she's just so comfortable in how full of herself and not caring that she is that it's like, I almost respect that.
Well, you need that. It's a nice counterpoint to Karen, who is so over-caring about everything that happens. It's like, oh man, give up the cause for 1 second here.
No, I think there's something too where everybody does care. Everybody has like a deep, you know, caring goal and a purpose, and they care about something. I mean, everybody does, and that's not bad at all. It adds so much, but at the same time, it is nice just to have a selfish jerk thrown in the mix too. That's like not that complicated.
Oh,
and she did it really well. She acted it very well.
And we got Potter.
Is that the guy making the suit?
Yes.
You know, it's funny. I was watching that, and my first thought when he started crying, I'm like, boy, this is like a lapse in writing. Where did this come from? And then you sort of see like, oh, she helped me when I get confused and stuff. It's like, oh, okay, you know, it took me a minute.
Yeah, definitely. I think a different Potter than the one I remember from the comics. But it'll be interesting to see where they go. The original Potter was more of like a villain who reformed.
Well,
and now they're friends.
You're
yeah,
right.
I mean
It was
it's
more
kind of, but they
against
went through that in all of like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like kind of working for King, but even then it was more like blackmail. The original guy was like what the heck? He was like a fashion designer or something. It was weird. It was weird. And then he's just like, I'm gonna build a suit and rob banks or something. And it was definitely different than this.
And I didn't know. I like the connection between that's how he finds this guy to make. This is obviously leading to the suit. You know, and the material and stuff. I don't know how I felt that it turns out the whole time Kingpin was padded. He had a suit on under that. Because I really like the idea that it's all muscle or whatever, fat muscle, whatever you call it. You know, and that he actually could not get through because it just seems so much more unstoppable that way. And then the idea, oh, just get him when the suit's off. That doesn't seem as much fun.
It depends on the tone for...
I mean, it makes sense to be prepared, but at the same time, there's something so badass. Again, that is kind of the Michael Clark Duncan. That's so cool.
So far, there does not seem to be a lot of supernatural element, or really that kind of comic booky, like, I'm just strong, like Hulk. Like, you know, I mean, he's definitely like a gorilla, but... So, in that kind of way, it's kind of like Batman-ish, like, no, he's got body armor and he's got things to help him out. Considering this is the Marvel comic universe, though, yeah, I'm not sure what... I don't know. I don't know what tone they're going for, but with the tone so far, yeah. See, that's the thing. This seems so far removed, this show, from all of that going on in the movies, that it doesn't bother me. But if they're going to start bringing the Marvel comic universe from the movies and stuff and everything into this show, into this project ever...
Yeah, why not do that?
Then, yeah, I have to wonder... So I don't know. For me, the jury's still out on that, but...
I mean, it's not like, oh my god, that ruins the Kingpin. I mean, that's not it at all. It's more like, that was just always a nice...
How dare you insinuate anything
bottom teeth
like that?
Yeah. No, I mean, there was just something when he's like, you know... Yeah, you're not gonna fight me one-on-one, and, you know, Fisk is just like, you know, okay, let's go. Come on, give me what you got. And he just like...
Bring it, bitch!
Yeah, and he just barely even moved when he's hitting him. He's doing all this stuff, and he's just standing there. I don't know. There's always something so intimidating in any movie or any story when this giant is like, yeah, come on. And you go and do everything, he doesn't even move. He's got almost like a little bit of a smile, like, yeah, come on. And is it my turn now? There is something so intimidating, and then knowing there's a brilliant mind behind that too, it just makes him all the more scary. So the idea of there being armor under there, it's kind of like, oh, you fucking cheater.
Speaking of Fisk, one of my favorite scenes with him and Vanessa is him talking about how, like,
I will make them suffer.
Yeah, first off, I realized I couldn't really pray because it was false. Therefore, I won't pray for you. I'm like, touching. Instead, I will make sure that the men who did this suffer and suffer. I was just like,
well, and he was kind of smiling, like, it'll be okay. I'll make them die. And painfully.
My wife turned to me when we saw this, because I watched it before Doug ever did it. She just goes, "That's so romantic." And I was like, that's how I know I married the right woman. It was like so cute in an Addams Family sort of way.
Yeah, it reminded me of Addams Family.
I won't pray for you, but I'll make sure that they die a horrible death.
No, I like that too. I mean, anything.
Because it's romantic in the way only Kingpin can be. And what I like about this Vanessa, I think, more than... The comics, I thought she kind of got a little more like, get out of the business and this and that. But this one just seems on board with it. Like, really, she's like, no, I want to be with you. I don't care what you do.
I think you really nailed it with Addams Family. Yeah, it's just like
it's bizarro... It's a sick, bizarro relationship, but through it they find love.
Yeah. They both agree on this very sick, twisted identity that
what else?
They kind of like. I will say...
Low moment for me besides Wesley's death. And I think we were talking, I think, last about how this show is so good that when it kind of dips into cliche, it kind of jolts you out of it for a second, like, oh yeah, this show is capable of dumb. Like, it's so rare, but when he says, like, what do you want me to do? You want me to build you a suit? He's like, no, a symbol. I was just like, oh my god, really? Did you just say that? Like, this would have been fine way back in 1989 in Tim Burton's Batman, or like,
I'll even argue, like, early 2000s.
Yeah, or like Batman Begins, but like, it has been so, that kind of line has been so done to death. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, when I first...
Like, come on, you're better than this show.
When I first saw Batman Begins, and it got to that point where he was talking about the symbol, I mean, it was so well written, that line, as a man I can be destroyed, I can be corrupted, but as a symbol I can be everlasting. And it was so well put that I think now anyone that uses that line or that word...
It's like trying...
I'm just going to think back to Batman Begins or all these other films I've done.
It's in the same way that you cannot write a line along the lines of, with great power comes great responsibility. Or if you put something like that in your movie, people are automatically going to think of Spider-Man being like, yeah, this has been done to death. Great power, great responsibility. It was one of those lines, it was like when he said a symbol, I was like, ugh. Like, I've seen that in every comic book movie.
No, all I could think of is that if this was 12, 13 years old, or...
It would have been fine, it would have been great. That idea has been done to death. But things that surprisingly still work. The cliched, I'm gonna talk to the old priest in the church scene still worked really well. Like,
actually, that reminds me of something else I wanted to bring up. And maybe I don't really trust there's like a anti-Christian thing necessarily going on, but there has been like a really hard kind of like, oh, those assholes, and I'm not going to act like I don't get why, because there are just such extremist dicks out there.
There's an anti-zealot thing going on, definitely.
Yeah, but I think there is... Watching this again, I mean, we grew up Catholic, Roman Catholic, and watching this again, I'm realizing how rarely I hear it talked about in a positive way. And it's nice when it's done with intelligence, and it's smart, and it's comforting, and which I'm not against making fun of it either. We make fun of it all the time.
The funny thing is, I'm not even sure it's always really in a positive way. It's just in an ambiguous way. Their conversations always skirt around good and evil, and it's hard to tell where either of them are coming from.
Yeah, no, but
her speech earlier, like, that was my favorite thing, because that's something I totally remember from Catholic school, which was... Or one thing I remember from Sunday school was always those martyrs, those saints or whatever. All didn't turn out so well for him in the end. That's true. I always remember these stories. And then he was crucified upside down. And he had his head chopped off and burned at the stake. And I'm like, and I love how this show incorporates that Catholic sort of kind of like baggage with it
Yeah.
and really taps into it. And like if you're raised Roman Catholic, it's kind of a fun show to watch. You're like, yeah, been there, done that.
Yeah, no, and I think that's it. There's still, how do I have it? Even though I consider myself agnostic and I'm open and stuff, there's still a respect when you've grown up with this religion, you see somebody tackle it in a smart, clever way that incorporates, like, hey, we see the possibilities of this too. We see the value in terms of not just like religious elements, but just good storytelling. And just size and epicness and ethics and stuff. I mean, they just make it feel huge.
What I like about this show is like a lot of shows we use any religion, or a lot of shows and movies we use any religion as window dressing, whether it be Catholicism, Buddhism, Christianity at large, Judaism. Like a lot of times it's just like, oh, here's this thing, he's this, or here's some Catholic mystical mumbo jumbo.
He's talking to someone, just make it God. You know, and that's
it. And this one has real respect for the religion. It's not just like, well, here's just some window dressing.
It's actually worked in very clever ways.
Yeah, it's actually worked in and feels like so much of a part of it. To the point that I almost sometimes wonder how many of the writers or people involved in this were actually Catholic, or if this is just something they picked up. But I love it, so.
Yeah, and even if you look at, like, whatever, not religion, but lore, or whatever, just good storytelling. You know, there's definitely a respect for it, and I think that's one of the things where it's like sort of the anti-religious angle is that they try to make it, you know, too simple and just good and bad. You know, fair enough. I mean, I'm not gonna, like, I don't get that, but there is also this understanding of going deeper, and there, like, these grand stories did come from this, you know, from these grand setups, and they worked them in very cleverly, and they did write about them, and people have been writing about it for a long time, because it is huge. It's just grand and epic and massive, and I like that this show, even in just a superhero show that's kind of smaller budget with a guy just fighting in the city, can just make it feel so grand by incorporating these themes in there.
We have literally reviewed movies that use like a Catholic mythos of there's a war between good and evil, and the devil's gonna declare war on Earth, and it starts pulling out things like Archangel Gabriel and this and that.
The Matrix and shit like that.
And the whole movie is based around that, and I'm like, you know, you never really got it. You just opened up like a couple of pages of the Bible and were just like, well, I'm just gonna pull some of this shit out. And like this one actually gets the themes on an intellectual level. It's not just like, here's the devil fighting the Archangel Gabriel because we wanted some Catholic shit in this thing. Like,
here's Clark Kent talking with a picture of Jesus in the background. You know, that's the stupid bullshit. But here they're actually.
No, I want you to go into this because I can already see some people being like, but how can you sit there and say, Man of Steel, they go into this imagery and stuff when there's been now like 5 episodes where Daredevil talks to his priest from in a church?
But no, but they're actually...
reconcile that one!
Well, first of all, that's a scene where they actually talk. What happens in the story, you know, is actually what's being reflected. Their talks are there, too. But, see, that's the thing, too. When they really talk, it sounds like they're really talking. And actually, I will defend that scene in Man of Steel. If they took out that fucking picture of Jesus, that would have been a great scene. That would have been a good scene in Man of Steel if he was just talking to the priest like that. But then having the distracting Jesus symbolism there was too distracting and too much on that.
Well, and you know what makes the scenes in Daredevil work? One, there's no distracting imagery. You don't need to put a giant picture of Jesus. Occasionally you'll see the crucifix in the background.
It's in the story. It's in
the story. When the priest is talking about good and evil, half his face is in shadow and half is in the light. Like, it's all about close-ups and framing your shots and faces and not being like, is it obvious enough we're talking about Jesus? Here's a picture of Jesus. Like,
you know, there's been this big thing with, like, you know, symbolism and symbols, and, you know, great filmmakers use it, and they have in the past, but I think there is almost, for some filmmakers and storytellers, there's a little too much relying on them, and they sort of lost the element of just the feel of it. You just get the feeling.
I think, okay,
and
here's
the
my
essence
problem.
of it, instead of just, here's a picture reflecting it.
It goes back to Mad Max, as all good things do. But we were talking about how there's so little dialogue in that movie. It's all visual. If you pick one or the other, it could work. I wouldn't have minded the Jesus... the stained glass windows so prominently in the background, if the conversation were more subtle. If the conversation were subtle and they wanted to say, oh, visually this is what we're talking about, even though it sounds like maybe they're talking about something else, this and that, that would have been fine. But it is so obviously a Jesus metaphor in their conversation that it's completely unnecessary. Whereas Daredevil, there's way more dialogue, and it's even more obvious there, but it's not trying to flash it in your face with other imagery. It's like, no, we'll let them do the talking and this and that. So it's kind of like, you kind of got to pick one or the other. Are you going to say this visually, or is it going to be a bunch of talking and you can be more subtle about it? But, like, I think Man of Steel, like, just wanted to do both at the same time. It's like, no, this is too much.
Well, and you can go, you know, totally, I mean, mostly visual, too. I mean, even down to just color. You know, Star Wars, the good guy wears white, the bad guy wears black. I mean, that's about as basic as it gets. You know,
I never noticed that.
But I mean, like, you know, the cowboys and the old serials and stuff, I mean, this is always, you know, that is technically symbolism, you know, it's using colors and visuals,
Of course, you
but it's very obvious.
Couldn't do that Man of Steel because it's all gray. But
Yeah. Just black and gray.
Oh, we're gonna get so much shit again.
But yeah, no, I really respect how this one actually, whether they really think about, hey, how can we incorporate these themes, or it happens naturally, I don't know. It feels like it's happening naturally, though, and I like that.
The use of color. Like, when he decides to throw on the Daredevil suit again, that yellow behind him. Like, I just always love the fact it always looks like purgatory or something, or like, kind of like a mini hell. There's always yellow in the background. And then when she's talking to Foggy in the bar, gorgeously lit
blue,
scene.
the red.
He's blue, she's red. Like, I don't know if it's even intentional. It's trying to, maybe you could argue she's the passion and the fire right now, and he's completely out of it. And, you know, there's more yellow in the background again in the bar. Like it, but these scenes are so gorgeously lit, and there's so much thought put into it that it's just mind-boggling. Like, you could have just shot in a bar with some lights on and not even really thought about it that much. But no, they always find an interesting way to light every single scene. Or underlight it. There are times, like when Wesley's talking to Fisk, you can't see either of their faces. It gets kind of interesting where they're really darkened. And it's just, visually, it's fascinating to watch.
Yeah, so, still a really good episode. Fucking hate how Wesley died, but, you know, what can you do? Still a really, really good episode.
Good night, sweet prince. I'll most likely shoot you in the morning.